Next up, from John Small Elementary, we have Christian Elenez Ramirez, otherwise known as Isaac. Isaac is a pleasure to have in class and sets a fantastic example of teamwork for his peers. He consistently is cooperative, always willing to help others, and approach group work with a positive, collaborative attitude. Isaac does the right thing when no one is watching, which is a testament to his character and his cooperative nature. He is a true asset to our school. From Northside, we have Bill Woolard. From Bath Elementary School, we have Gabby and Gentry Neal. Gabby and Gentry go above and beyond with their kindness and willingness to work and cooperate well with others. These two can be found working together and with others in and out of school. Great job, guys. From Southside High School, we have Jaden Schaefer. All right, she's out today. Eastern Elementary School, we have Francisco Esquivel. He is well deserving of Cooperation Award. He consistently works well with others and demonstrates strong teamwork skills. He has shown a lot of growth this year, both socially and academically. I truly believe he is a great representation of this character trait. From John Cotton Taylor, we have Eleanor Mazel. All right. She is a wonderful example of cooperation in action. She works thoughtfully and respectfully with her classmates, always listening carefully to others' ideas and sharing her own in a kind and positive way. She understands that teamwork means helping everyone feel included and valued, and she consistently encourages her peers to do their best. From Chocowinity Primary School, we have Royalty Clinton. I would like to nominate Royalty. Recently, during a weekly bus route, she demonstrated excellent behavior by following all the bus expectations listed on our PBS matrix, which included things such as talking quietly, staying seated, and showing respect for herself and others. She always follows the rules perfectly and sets a wonderful example. Great job. From Northeast, we have Palin Woolard. From Washington High School, we have Riley Zelinski. She showcases her cooperation every day in class and every day on the softball field. She loves group assignments because she gets to work with her peers and lead her peers in those groups. She is always respectful of everyone and makes sure everyone's voices are heard. And she also does the same thing on the softball field. From P.S. Jones, we have Nija Keys. All right. From Chocowinity Middle School, we have Ricardo, I'm gonna say Quiroz Meza, if I'm pronouncing that correct. He consistently demonstrates outstanding cooperation in the classroom. He goes above and beyond to help his teachers and classmates, always showing a positive attitude and willingness to help others. He always works hard to complete his assignments and stays focused on doing his best. And from early college, we have Taylor Haddock. Taylor always works respectfully and effectively with her group members, no matter who she is put in a group with. She listens carefully to her teammates' ideas, shares her own thoughts in a positive way, and offers support when a classmate is struggling. She is an outstanding active listener, and she is always respectful and kind. Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Keith Mitchell.
Athlete of the Month.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the Athletes of the Month for all our high schools. And Dr. Young, I'm with you with Duke. I hope they'll cooperate with each other and get it done. But we're going to start with Southside, and our female Athlete of the Month for March is Elijah Martinez-Ruiz. Soccer, okay. Our male Athlete of the Month for Southside is freshman Christian Pascal. Christian is a three-sport athlete playing football, basketball, and track. Christian never misses a practice and does a wonderful job leading his teammates. In the classroom, Christian excels as an honor roll student while continuing to grow into the best teammate and student athlete he can be. Congratulations. For Northside, our female athlete of the month is freshman Allie Tedderton. I believe she's on a track meet. Okay. And our male athlete of the month is from Northside is junior Deontay Moore. I believe he's on a track meet as well. Okay, he's at track. So congratulations to those students. So move to Washington, and for our female athlete of the month for March is Washington is senior Carly Woolard. As an exceptional offensive leader for the Pan-Pac softball team, Carly is currently pacing the team in all major offensive categories, including batting average, hits, RBIs, and extra base hits. On a notably young roster, Carly has distinguished herself as a true leader, both on and off the field, and we look forward to watching her continue to excel throughout her senior season. Carly is currently committed to play softball at Division I Morgan State University next season. Oh, wow. And our male athlete of the month for Washington is senior Corbin Arnold. As a senior captain for the Pan-Pac baseball team, Corbin has proven to be a tremendous offensive force as the 2026 season gets underway. Currently, Corbin is batting above .400 and leads the team in nearly every offensive category. Beyond his impressive stats, Corbin has consistently served as the emotional leader, bringing energy and resilience to every situation. We are proud of his accomplishments and look forward to seeing him thrive as the season continues. Thank you.
All the rest are for me.
Right after public comment, we'll take a quick little recess, and that way, if y'all wanted to go to dinner or something right after that, you can. And we have one public comment, and Mr. Doon has a quick thing to read, but Daniel Dahlman, you can come on up to the thing, and then Mr. Doon's going to read the thing. Okay.
Welcome to the Beaufort County Board of Education meeting. Your presence is welcome and encouraged by the board. The board invites comments during the public comment section of the board meeting. This time is set aside for the board to hear comments on programs, policies, and procedures. The board typically will not respond nor take any immediate action on the concerns expressed, but please be assured the board will take all comments under appropriate advisement. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, the following guidelines have been established. Persons wishing to speak should already registered prior to the board meeting by listing their name, address, telephone number, and topic to be addressed. To maximize participation, comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Yielding time to another speaker will not be permitted. A maximum of 4 speakers will be allowed to speak on one item. The chairman will invite speakers to the podium in the order in which they are registered. Comments must be issue-oriented. Complaints against any employee will not be heard in public session. Those wishing to leave a written statement may do so to place with the meeting minutes. Public participation is limited to the public comment section, so the board may deliberate important decisions without distraction or interference.
All right, Mr. Dahlman, go ahead.
All right. Good evening. My name's Daniel Dahlman, a resident of Beaufort County. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of a group of concerned citizens. Horace Mann once said, "Education is the great equalizer of the conditions of men, the balance wheel of the social machinery." These words still ring true today. Education changes lives, changes families, and changes futures. Your service on this board reflects your belief in that mission, and I want to begin to thank you for your time and leadership and your commitment to the students of Beaufort County. But with that responsibility also comes difficult realities. The educational landscape has changed dramatically over the last 25 years. Families now have many choices: traditional public schools, charter schools with fewer regulations, private schools, and homeschooling. But what is often overlooked is the simple truth: these options do not operate on a level playing field. Beaufort County Schools is required to provide licensed teachers, administrators, transportation, cafeterias, exceptional children's services, and a full network of specialists. These are not optional expenses, they are mandates. Meanwhile, many alternative options are not required to carry these same responsibilities. At the same time, funding allows enrollment. Every student who enrolls in Beaufort County Schools brings resources. Every student who leaves takes those resources with them. That is not political, that is simply how the funding model works. That reality is why I'm concerned about what appears to be a potential conflict of interest involving a candidate employed in an administrative role at another publicly funded LEA within the same county. I want to be very clear, this is not about questioning anyone's character or intentions. This is about protecting the integrity of this board, and the public trust that comes with it. That institution is actively working to grow its enrollment. Growth there directly impacts Beaufort County schools. And when professional advancement and institutional growth exist alongside board service, it creates, at minimum, the appearance of divided interests. And appearance matters. Because even the perception of a conflict can weaken public confidence. We must also realistically ask, how many discussions would require recusal, enrollment strategies, program development, community outreach, marketing, partnerships, grants, even hiring of personnel that may want to transfer between LEAs? If a board member must repeatedly step away from discussions central to the future of this district, we must ask whether that situation truly serves Beaufort County schools. This is not about what is technically allowable, it's about what is unquestionably right. Strong public institutions depend on clear loyalty, clear priorities, and clear trust. Because when difficult decisions come, and they always do, you had to close Snowden because of enrollment. There must never be a question about who we are fighting for. So my message tonight is simple. We must not only avoid conflicts of interest, we must also avoid the appearance of conflicts of interest. Because public trust, once questioned, is much harder to rebuild than it is to protect. And I'll close with this. When it comes to the future of Beaufort County schools, there must never be any doubt which side of the table we are sitting on. And thank you for your time and service, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you
If
for your comments.
Daniel,
Appreciate it.
Daniel,
Wait a minute, Daniel.
if you want those to go into
Oh,
the
yeah.
minutes, you can. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Are you saying this is a candidate who's running?
I believe she's already won. Well, I mean, that person's already won.
Okay.
We're talking about Cornelius.
So,
Thank you.
thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
All right, if y'all want to go to you're welcome to stay, or if you're welcome to go, our meetings are open and lovely. If you want to go eat dinner, go ahead.
Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our students and our athletes.
Especially,
I'm surprised
especially our
Corbin came. They got practice over there.
Do what?
especially our seniors. I know every time one comes up, I crack a tear. I wasn't sure.
Yes, sir.
Have you moved across the hall?
I haven't thought about it. I have like, that would be a lot easier. And it would pay a lot more. I'll drop with you as a message. And we'll be the public speaker. We'll hit them with a whole new drama. I have thought about that. Today, I need to tell Alicia that I had a parent, and I'm so proud of Autumn because she was Friday for an IED for years, and when I got the bug, I can talk to you afterwards. So used to start to do this better for her. No, she's not really I taught us to do that what she wanted. And this was good for her. But, and this was good for her because that Casanova is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. But, with Alicia's school, we have another child that came out of IEP after school. And I don't know if parents that don't have special needs children, if they understand how amazing. I don't. Huge. Because you have a little girl that when I adopted her, she was doing all the family stuff, you know. They said she would never be or not to expect anything from her. Oh, I haven't met her yet either. I had to call her and her FaceTime because he didn't eat. And he was calling me to pick him up. Put him like a West World. No, but if he's going to keep doing every virus that goes around, he can't be doing it. I can't believe I did that. Because I'm hard. I can't believe I was thinking about it the other day. They had it twice. It went through my hands twice. Mama was not going to come over.
Alrighty. Let's get back to it. 6.1, discussion, no action. Washington Elementary School update. Ms. Makepeace and Mr. Makepeace, WIMCO, and the principal. We have a ton of attachments that I'm sure Brad's going to dominate this discussion because he probably will.
We
be.
can make it easy.
Yeah. This is probably the only time you dominate.
Yeah, no, all good news. I've got Kevin Brickhouse here with me. He's with WIMCO. He's the project manager on the project. But yeah, I mean, briefly, we're tracking on schedule and we're still under budget. So maybe it'll be enough left to get Mark a new name tag. So congratulations. I think last time I was here, you weren't in that seat. So good to be here. So like we've done before, we've got a drone video. You can play that, and I'll sort of talk through it a little bit. The first thing you notice, we got some black gold out there, asphalt as we call it. So it's good that we've got a binder course down in the main parking lot and part of the carpool lane, as well as the bus parking. Here flying in towards the front door where the administration offices will be, and then there's the gym. Nice long covered front porch there for carpool duty. Got the 3 main chillers there set, and there's some water meters and transformers. So all the guts of the mechanical equipment are there on site and being installed. That'll be the loading dock area there it serves the back of the kitchen. 200 classroom wing. Brick veneer is essentially complete with a few little screen walls left, security walls. Metal roof panels are ongoing, installing those. This video is almost a week old. We've started some sidewalks ahead of schedule. Like I said, the asphalt's ahead of schedule. There's a few things inside the building that have slipped on us on the schedule, but we're working to bring those back up. We're heavy into some finishes, and we'll show some pictures of the interior here in a second. Out back, this will just be another place for one of the playgrounds, as well as asphalt basketball court. The fire lane connects the carpool lane to the back of the building. So that's looking over towards the 300 wing, which backs up to the existing gym. The reason we don't have the panels there on that section, there's a couple of dormers that we have to build, one for ventilation. So they're working on getting that constructed. So then we'll wrap up those last little bit of panels. Got concrete stairways going in up to the gym. This will have a nice covered walk, aluminum canopy that will connect that building to the gym. Another place for a playground. This is the 400 wing. This is what, second and third in these buildings here. There'll be another covered canopy that connects the end of that building over towards the end of the carpool lane, because most of the staff will park in that existing lot that will remain. And then flying over here towards the the cool courtyards, these are going to be some really neat spaces with some artificial turf in that middle section. The two connectors, we're finishing up the structure on that one connector. The other one, as you can see, is already built. So we're getting roof drain piping installed and doing the final grading. And then the other courtyard that backs up to the kitchen will have a little sort of outdoor kitchen area with some nice brick pavers and good stuff for all the events that'll be happening over here. Anybody have any questions on the exterior before we flip through some pictures on the inside? Good deal. Yeah, just click. Yeah, I'll just briefly say something about each one. You can just hit the arrow button and it should open the next one. So this is a shot of the boiler room. We've got the boiler set and all the piping being installed there. That's very critical to getting conditioned air on. You can click the next. A lot of the sub panels that are throughout the building, those are all installed and wire pulled to them, so it's just a matter of getting those terminated. Jamie, is he here tonight? We got his parking lot done. Got new asphalt and striping in front of the facility, so that was part of the original project. And working on the soffits. Keep going. This is in the gym area. Ductwork being installed, working on the big bulkhead over the stage area. Priming drywall in the administration wing, getting ready for ceilings. There's some sidewalks going in. Another shot of the big wide connectors in between the 100 and the classroom wings. There's the other one that is nearly complete now. This is a cool spot. This is one of the collaborative spaces. This is in the sort of intersection of the wings. There's one on each side. A nice big high ceiling that'll have some floating cloud features in there, so it'll be a cool space. Installing speakers and sprinkler heads in the ceiling grid, getting ready to drop some lights, wrapping up some windows. Those are nearly complete. Walk-in coolers in the kitchen. And then, of course, the Washington City Power Company has been out there helping us. We got wire pulled to the transformer, so any day now we'll have some permanent power, which is huge. There's all your HVAC piping up in the platforms, all the stuff that nobody sees that makes it all work. Just continuing to hang drywall in classrooms, so that gives you a pretty good just sort of glimpse of what we got going on inside. And there's just another picture of the chillers that are wiring up, getting ready for air conditioning. So I think that's pretty much it. Any questions on any of the progress? Yes.
Good, Don.
Yeah, I was just curious. It looks like we're ahead of schedule. That's good. We're ahead of dollar-wise. That's good. There's a remaining amount of around $4 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Just curious. What would happen? Is there any restrictions on that money?
Yes.
When it's
Yes, there's restrictions on that money. So
Okay.
I was working with some legislators and senators, and any remaining lottery, Christie, correct me when I get there, any remaining lottery grant funds that does not get used goes back to DPI for repair and renovation fund or the lottery grant fund. Is that correct? Yep, not to the voucher system. Goes to the repair and renovation fund. Yep.
Just curious about.
And
Thank
so,
you.
but they encourage us to use as much as possible on non-movable stuff inside of the building. Is that correct?
They encourage you to use it on the building, which is new construction, not loose classroom materials, you can't
Yep.
have things like that. But there are limitations.
All right,
Thank you.
good.
And on that, there were a few things that we kind of pushed aside because we didn't think, there were things that we were not gonna be able to do. And I would entertain if we're able to do those things now that we have the money to do them.
Yeah.
But my question is, we discussed a week and a half ago, there was a near tragedy at a school in Michigan or Minnesota, I'm sorry, I don't know which state, where someone attempted to get into the building to do harm, to plant bombs. And they did so by running right into the front of the building. And so I had said something to Kelly about it, and I would love for us to decide, I think the signage made out of the same brick, anything that we can do that would prevent anyone, and to say, well, that's not gonna happen here, that to me is being foolish. Because everywhere those tragedies happen, the people in that community will say, I can't believe it happened here. But I would love for you all, I know that's extra, but it's not $4 million, but I really would like to see something that would prevent, and I had a discussion with Jamie Healy? Yeah, about if it's signage or whatever, he would have steel, recommend steel put in the middle, so they will hurt themselves before they would get into that building, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, we've looked at a couple options. I know Kelly and Kevin have exchanged a few things, and we've got some ideas that we can get priced up that should be cost effective and serve that purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Hudson, do you got anything? You're online. Do you have anything? I think he's good. I do have one quick question on, I know last time you were here in January, is that right?
November.
November. Are we pretty much beyond the major hurdles of the testing and you made a mention of some kind of fire testing that you had to jump through, and then you had one other quick thing, but after you got beyond those hurdles, it's pretty much cleaning up the loose ends, is that right?
That's right. We've made significant progress on those hurdles. Just a few off the top of my head. Like I said, we're close to permanent power. We did get our water released from the state last week, so that was huge. So we've got permanent water to the building, so we can pressurize and flush everything. We did our BDA testing, which is the emergency responders that we talked about last time. And we're getting that system priced. That is going to be handled with an allowance that's already in the contract. It just may go over by a few $1,000. We're working to get that finalized so we can get that installed. And then really the last hurdle that we have to really jump is getting started on the asbestos and the demo of the existing school so we can complete the carpool lane. That carpool lane's got to be completed. There's also a water main that has to be tied into the main loop before we'll be able to get the certificate of occupancy for the new staff and students.
Okay.
So, but yeah, as far as the schedule goes, I mean, there are definitely some things that have slipped on the inside, but we're working to get those brought back up. Obviously we had a pretty significant snow event for this area not too long ago that held up a few things, and but we were able to get a jump on a few things that are ahead. So overall, we still feel good about getting the building substantially complete on time. So that hasn't changed, even though some little things in the schedule have tweaked. So we've got a few subcontractors that are asking for a little bit of additional funds for upsizing their crews and working overtime. Right now, we're averaging about 110 folks a day.
Wow.
We would like to get that number to about 140. And it's mainly the electrical and mechanical scopes, the biggest scope on the job. Those guys are committed to adding crews of upwards of 12 folks each for almost 10 to 12 weeks to get us over the hump at the end. And, you know, these guys all knew at the beginning, we sort of started behind the 8 ball until the land purchase was done and we could get the permit. So they've done all they can to get us to this point, and Kevin's done a good job of fending them off, to keep them from sending bills from the very beginning. So we are where we are. We just need to get a few more bodies out there to get it done.
Yep.
So-
Don, do you have another question?
Well, I was just gonna add that, that realizing that we've got a little ways to go and we're not sure about all the monies that's gonna be spent, but I would just add to what Ms. Walker says, if we need things and we think we're gonna have monies left over, if we need things, we need to go ahead and plan before the project is over to try and get those items taken care of if we've got money that we may have to pay back. So,
And I don't mean frivolous expenses.
no, absolutely.
That really
Mark
encourage
can comment to
enhance
that.
the education.
So we have given Dr. Makepeace a blank check. She's working, as we speak, she's going to be bringing back some things in the month of April for your approval. Additions to the playgrounds, additions to classrooms. There's a laundry list of approved items that she's going to have for us. She's just gathering quotes as we speak. And she'll be sharing that with you,
That sounds
things that you
good.
can all review and decide if that's something that you'd like to add.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a question for Brad, Kelly, or anybody? Okay.
I have a few things.
Mr. Chair, can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on just a second. Stacy's gonna go first, and I'll grab you. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, go.
I've been riding out there as much as possible, and it looks really great, and what a great job you guys are doing. I want you to know that, and I'm hard to impress on a job site. My dad's a builder, but great work. The main thing that I'm concerned about is the surveys and the studies that go to DPI. With the permits, do we have all of those, like the traffic, the environmental, the insurance? And I'm expecting that we need parts of that as we're moving along with the building. Did we ever get a traffic survey?
So
Now
the
that
traffic
we've laid
study
the
was done,
asphalt?
the traffic study was done on the front end of the project, with Jimmy Height. That was done and submitted, at the beginning of the project,
Prior to bid, yeah.
prior to bid. Let's see, there was a whole bunch of, surveys
It
and
was, yeah.
environmental studies that were all done and submitted to DPI before the start work was able to give to WIMCO after we got it bid. Before we went to bid, all of those studies were already completed.
Excellent. Can we get a copy of them as the board members? Are able
Yeah,
to
we
have a
had them
copy?
back in the day, so they're on your, board docs. I don't remember what meeting it was, but you should be able to, once you're logged into your Diligent Community, you can go up to the search tab and search traffic studies, and it should pop right up.
Okay.
It
'cause I've
searches
not
all,
been
of
able to
it
find
searches
them.
all of it.
Okay. So that's what I was asking, because I've not been able to find it, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't come back on the county. Also, on our janitorial end, are there any upgrades that are being done for our janitors in the new school to make their jobs easier? Storage, is that being allotted for?
There's an allowance within the project to purchase custodial equipment. That's currently being vetted and bid now. It's been established, but there will be, the good thing about this school is it's a no-wax school. So it's all LVT flooring in all the classrooms, and then your corridors are all terrazzo floors, which is the top of the line. And so we also have epoxy floors in all the bathrooms instead of tile and grout. So it's gonna really help a lot with keeping the facility clean and looking
They
new.
help a lot with our morale in our hallways, so I want to make
Yes.
sure they get something special too.
Each hallway has a storage closet for custodial equipment.
Excellent.
Right, and I think there's a floor machine in that bid as well to keep the hallways clean, and the cafeteria, that's all terrazzo as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
So Stacy, just for your information, I just put in my search bar traffic study, and it popped up all of them. And if you go to your first tab where it says WES total budget 320 of 26, line item 1, 2, 3, where it says site and environmental surveys and traffic studies, where it was paid and done at the beginning of the project.
Does it have a copy of it in there?
And if you do your search tab, you can find a copy of it inside of your Diligent community.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Hey, Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hey, I just, Brad, I'd like to say again, thank you for, or thank you to Mr. Rawls for the time to walk through with a few of us the other week. It's amazing the amount of work you guys have accomplished. And I do just want to mention, I agree totally with Carolyn's concern, or Ms. Walker's concern about security at the front of that building. But I also want us to be mindful as we add things, need to think through, you know, potentially extending completion dates, things of that nature. So if we do have some concerns, I guess as a board, we really need to put our heads together and think about what they may be and go ahead and act on those, because these guys are moving tremendously fast on the ground. They're making a lot of things happen, as you've heard, a lot of man hours, a lot of effort there. So, you know, we want to get what we want, but at the same time, we need to be mindful about how that could extend completion dates. But again, thank you guys. Thank WIMCO and everyone out doing what they're doing. It's amazing what you guys are accomplishing.
Thank you. And yes, just to comment on that, the main goal is to be ready for August. So while there's some things that we can absorb as far as scope, there's a few things that we have to maybe shelf to wrap up in the fall that, you know, won't affect the permit.
Because there's still dirt.
Right.
While it's still dirt.
That's right.
If we can do something as a protective barrier for the front.
Yep.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
other questions for any of them? Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we got good spring weather and stop being cold and snow.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
6.2, 25-26 capital update. Mr. Stokes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I think you have an attachment on your current capital. Currently we have 23 projects that we are ongoing to get completed, to complete this year's capital. 7 of those projects will, at least 7 of them will drag into the summertime, just due to the fact that we can only perform that work during the summertime when there's no children or the building's occupied. Excuse me. And there's easily probably 10 or 12 that will close out by Easter or the end of Easter. That's because we used Easter to knock out some painting and some different stuff while there was no students in the school building. Any questions concerning capital?
Is Daniel listening in?
Yeah, Dan, did you hear any questions on capital? Hello? Yeah, he's there.
Because I was going to actually ask him a question.
Which one?
Daniel. Excuse me.
Dan, can you
Can
hear
you
us?
hear me, Daniel?
Yes, sir. I got you. I'm good. Thank you.
Looking at, can I ask you a quick question myself? Looking at this capital report where the R&R items are within the capital, is that a discussion that maybe you and I had about separating that out, or was it something else?
Yes, sir. No, it was in relation to the R&R being combined with capital, but it was actually on, what I was looking at was some information that Ms. Potts had sent me, and it was actually showing completed projects, and R&R is included in that itemization. It's not actually on this report, which
Okay.
is fine. It's just something that we may want to have a conversation about possibly separating.
Okay,
'Cause
that's fine.
You're using R&R where possible and funded, correct?
Yeah, currently, we've got 2 projects that we've got online right now that we're planning on using R&R for. Bleachers and Washington room upgrades. But that's the only 2 that we've got in motion right now for R&R funds.
And for the public's knowledge, repair and renovation, R&R is repair and renovation lottery fund is sitting in Raleigh.
Right, I was just going to, because that's separate from capital
Yes,
funds from
that's
the
correct.
commissioners. So in the future, when putting these together for this coming year, I want that separated out.
Absolutely.
I want capital on one, R&R on one, and actually, I'm not taking credit for that. That was a discussion I had with somebody, but I think it's a good idea.
I think it'd be easier for us.
Yeah, it'd be easier to follow through
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, that's it. It would just be a little easier, I think, for the ones of us that don't know all the codes and all that stuff
Right.
to understand it.
I agree.
Yes.
There's no big deal, just wait if we can look at it.
Yeah, I'd like to separate that too, because sometimes with all the colors that we put up there to try to help you guys see where we're at, it can kind of get confusing sometimes.
And I want to thank you for conducting the Capitol tours, and I'm sorry for those that couldn't go. Some people weren't mobile, but anyway, but they were very informative. So go next year, but,
I'll
yeah.
enjoy it.
She'll try not to break her foot next year.
Yeah.
And I know it's difficult for Steve too, but, on any of these items, if you really have a question about it, he can provide pictures or wherever you might need to make a decision for next year's budget.
That's correct.
And I want to thank the principals and assistant principals and coaches and custodians, Ms. Sarah, that have input on this because it does help us if we know, we're not there every day.
Yeah.
As the old Dr. Dave used to say, cows in the ditch, ain't nothing to do but to get it out. So it's our job to get the cow out of the ditch, but it's your job to tell us where that cow is and what's going on with it. So now some of y'all are way too young, you don't even know who Dr. Dave is. But
Well,
that was his saying.
can I ask you another question?
Donald.
Jamie?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Any heartburns on anything that you think might be challenging that?
The whole document, it's a heartburn.
The whole thing?
No, it's good. They have their challenges, sometimes quoting the R&R side of it is a little more lengthy on our part because the scope of the projects are so big money-wise. Our projects have got to be sent to DPI for prior review and approval before we can start the project. So that means we've got to provide shop drawings and engineered stamp drawings for them. So anything that we spend under a certain amount extends the process out even longer, and it's slow anyway. And then you got to put another step in it with DPI, and it just makes it go a little bit longer on our end.
I know sometimes the big ticket items would kind
Yes.
of give me heartburns.
Yeah.
Well,
To try and get done.
Kicking them down the road, knowing that at some point, we have to do them.
I would like to say one thing though. Principals are a great help to us in our department. They provide a lot of information, a lot of pictures, and sometimes all the quotes that we need for something. So just instead of me having to dig around and get all the quotes, I just verify what they send us. So they're a great help.
So, sort of expanding on what they were saying, I don't know about the cow and the ditch kind of thing, but looking at all the projects that we haven't got to yet, how do you feel about completing what's on this sheet by, call it, end of summer? Because I know some things you can't do till summer gets here, and the only reason I'm asking that is before I load you down with a 26, 27 capital list, which we're currently putting together. So. You see what I'm
Yeah.
getting at? If you got a fourth of these not completed,
There-
what's the point of giving you another one that's loaded up more than this one was?
I mean,
and you just keep falling behind.
There's a possibility,
Okay.
we're gonna drag some into the summertime, and it's
Right,
gonna be
right, I
towards
know.
the tail end of the summer.
Yeah.
Our biggest issue is, our primary focus is gonna be getting WES opened up.
Right,
And
I understand.
So we're gonna manage our capital that we're committed to in the summer and let that drive, which direction we go.
Okay.
If capital needs to slow down a little bit, but if we commit to them, we go ahead and get them approved and go ahead and get them on the schedule where we're managing them, we'll go ahead and get them done over the summertime.
But when you're putting the capital list for 26-7 together,
Yeah.
see if any of these need to be moved over. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, they just bleed over. Because I'm with you. Washington School needs to be open.
Yes.
That's the big deal.
Yep.
I would ask you, what could we do to help you? I can't imagine what we would do. We're not going to go out and lay brick or anything for you. But if there is something, let us know.
Well-
Other than hiring you a whole bunch of new people.
And well, now that you talked about that, we were.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to know. I didn't
Well-
say I can do it, but I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
A bunch of cows in the ditch.
Okay.
Whatever.
My biggest concern right now is May the 25th or 6th, once we start cleaning out, so we can stay in front of Brad Makepeace and them, so they can do their remediation and everything. And we've got a plan in place, and right now, all good plans are no better than when you start on them and then you run into trouble. But Brad and them and Wimco has been great. I mean, just great to deal with. I've dealt with a lot of contractors in my time, but they have been good ones. They've got some people that are going to come in and help us when we start moving our teachers and taking equipment that we're going to save out and getting it so they can get in and keep the process going so we don't hold up the school.
And that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
Could we help, is there something you needed to get that moved over? Because I know that's got to be done, and it's going to be all hands on deck to get it done. I get it.
Yeah, the closest,
The last day for Eastern Elementary for
22nd.
staff and students.
22nd of May for the students.
While we're talking about this list, just for the public's knowledge, the county gives us, what is statutory required by capital, by the sales tax revenue, is the only thing that they give us. And, we had talked about adding a couple of different line items to tackle our ever-growing, asphalt needs for like a 4 or 5 year project. And, Jamie and Mark were gonna put those together for, as we get moving forward for our budget processes, for capital. So maybe the county will be gracious enough to add a little bit of money to us so we can tackle our asphalt needs if, over a 5 year plan. Then we won't have to tackle it again for,
25 years.
20 years or so.
Yeah, it won't last.
He retired.
Yep. Anybody else got any more questions for Jamie?
No.
All right.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.
Jamie. Hope the weather holds for you.
Good job.
6.3, Policy Code 2302, remote participation in board meetings. Mr. Doon.
Yes, sir. So I was asked to research remote participation in board meetings and realized that we just, because of a couple of recent court cases, our policy is fine, except for we have a couple of knots that need to be removed. Because previously, the School Board Association had recommended that if you were a board member participating remotely, that you would not be considered part of a quorum. And then if you're a board member that was participating remotely, that you would not be able to vote on any item in the meeting under certain conditions. However, both of those have been overruled. So our policy, if we just scratch the two words "not," we will be no longer violating court order. But it is on first reading because it is a policy that we haven't brought up before. But the only change to the entire policy is page 3, line item number 6, line item number 9, just crossing out the two knots, which would say that a board member participating remotely is considered part of the quorum and can vote on all aspects of the meeting.
Can I suggest something?
I suggest we move it on to
That's what I
action.
want to
Be done
do.
with it.
It's only 2 words. Don't bring it
Yes,
back
sir.
to me.
As I participate remotely, being subject to section C1, subsection G,
I felt that.
remote participation is a very nice option. However, there's no replacement for being there with you guys. I'm sorry I can't be there tonight, but I would certainly be in favor of making a motion to move this to an action item to go ahead and take care of it.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Now make a motion to approve.
Make a motion, second
All right,
that.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, you got your knots not taken out.
Thank you so much.
All right.
2 words.
We'll send that to the School Board Association and get it fixed on the website.
6.1, this is the first draft of local funding, Mr. Doon.
Yes, sir. So this is draft number 1.
6.4, sorry.
Of our local budget request. We'll be bringing capital to you after spring break. This is our local budget request. Ms. Potts put together in the same format that I think you're used to seeing. The rationale, if you notice, it says save 100% of existing positions, that's 22, save 50% and save 0%, because that last year was kind of the track that we took with the county commissioners. Those 22 positions are because we are currently paying for 14 positions out of either local funds or Fund 8. We expect that we'll have to add 2 new positions in 26-27, and then we've been given an allotment forecast from the state, and we believe we'll lose 6 positions from the state. So that's how we arrived at the number 22. So what you see here is the top line is our local funding request from fiscal year 25-26. You see the money that we're previously covering. You also see the board had tasked me with adding a mental health line for the county to possibly increase the number of counselors, number of social workers, number of psychologists, or any mental health professional. So I put that in there as well. We project, although at this point it's anybody's guess, but we project an average 3% raise And so Christie has added in what is the projections for a raise increase for those that are paid out of local funds, FICA increase, retirement, hospitalization. You may remember a few years ago, the Board of Education adopted a teacher assistant supplement. You've been funding that out of various sources, but mostly local funds. So we added it back in to see if the county would like to assist us with that, and then, along with the FICA and retirement rate, the property insurance at a 13% increase, utility increase at 8%. Then you can see at the bottom, in very tiny print, the accounting appropriations that we've received in each of the fiscal years from 21 through 26. So we would, this is our first draft. We're certainly open to any changes or any additions or deletions or corrections that you see fit.
If we get a budget between now and next year at this time, is that what they're projecting, a 3% raise now? Or, you know, I know there's a House bill, there's a Senate bill, you talk to one and go, well, they want X, but if we get a budget, you know, at this moment, we've gone this long without a budget, I don't think they'll pass one.
I don't think they're gonna pass one either.
No, I mean, we're anticipating a possibility of 3% going into next year.
Yeah,
but-
we're thinking about next year. When I was at conference last month, there was a lot of speculation about what they may or may not do. One of the speculations from DPI was that they will go into session on April 21st.
They got a short session coming up.
Short session, and it may possibly approve a 1% at that point, but there is no confirmation that that's gonna happen. Plus, that would you'd have to retro that back to July. It would be a lot of work for what it is. So we'll just see. I really don't think that they're gonna approve a budget.
I'm gonna ask another one, if they do drop a 1% locally, are we okay?
If they drop 1%, yeah, I think we can cover it.
Okay. All right.
We kind of, each year, I kind of plan for 3.
Yep.
So if they drop 1, I think we can cover it.
Okay. Go ahead. I know.
Why would you look at me and ask me to go ahead? You
Because
think
we're
I'm-
talking about
you
money.
think
Because
I'm gonna have
I
something?
knew where you were going.
And you're right, I am. When does this, I know this is, I'm gonna call it a preliminary draft of something to happen down the road.
Yes, sir.
When do you have to actually present this to the commissioners?
This would be, it's due in May.
It's due in May. Well, I would suggest that we need to get together. Of course, now I'm not gonna ask everybody to have to. I'll get together with you if I have to. But I would prefer the board getting together sometime before then to look through this a little more detailed and have a lot of it. Now, most of it is
Usually we have
is
a budget
straightforward.
workshop.
Right, we need a budget workshop. Because I got a lot of questions to ask, and I don't think these people want to sit here and listen to me all night. But I've just got a lot of issues, not with what you've drawn up here, but I've got a lot of issues with how we're going to get the money to do some of these things, because we all know, or should know, you're probably not going to get another $2.5 million from the county. I mean, if you think that, then
You'll be lucky to get 16.
You haven't been around very long, is what
You'll
I'm
be
trying
lucky
to
to
say,
get
and be nice
16.9.
about it. Do what?
You'll be lucky to get the 16.
You'll be very lucky to get column 3, which what we're looking at is about, doing the math, is about a $700,000 or $800,000 increase.
Yeah.
Over last year. You'll be extremely lucky to get that. And that wouldn't help us on the positions at all. And I got some real serious concerns about certain positions that I want to make sure they are put into whatever we pass. Nurses, counselors, social workers, things like that I've seen people that are retiring. I want to make sure they're hired back in, or I'll never support it if I don't get that. So let's figure out when we can do this, and if we can't get together as a board, I'll be more than happy to meet with you
Yeah,
myself.
we should be able to do a board.
We should be before May.
Yeah, we should.
But we
be able
need to do it
something.
quicker rather than late.
We should be able to do something in April.
Because I've got some suggestions to make to you, to the board, that I want looked at real hard on money-saving ideas.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go into all of them here tonight on a preliminary draft.
I think that's an excellent idea, and I would be very supportive of it.
And
We usually do-
I'll
we
drag
usually
you
do a
along with me
budget
then.
All
I
right,
agree as well.
we'll work on budget.
I think we
Yeah.
have to have a budget.
We have
Yeah.
to, yeah, we have to. This is getting too serious now.
We have a federal cut that's happened, that's up in the air. We have mental health grants that have been issued through the state. We can utilize those.
And that's what we need to get together. And if you know about that kind of stuff, bring it to us,
Yeah.
and let's see what we can do.
There's
Fill those
Yeah,
empty
okay.
positions.
But I appreciate what you're doing, Maura. I mean,
Okay.
it just sort of hits you in the face when you read it in black and white, though.
Sure.
All right. Anything else? All right. Let's move on to the action item, 7.1. We all got the audit last meeting, and it's up for action to approve the audit from June 30th. Anybody?
Yeah, it's just a preliminary, a regular thing, yeah.
You got a motion?
It's in the
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. 7.2, 3450 class rankings. It was last meeting, it was brought to us. This is second read. Mr. Dunn can answer any questions.
There are no changes from before.
There are no changes. Motion to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. 7.3, we've talked about the science curriculum. Mr. Doon has any information from that. Go, Mr. Doon.
All right, so if you will actually look at the second document first, it's the one that has the K-5 grade span, the 6-8 grade span, and the 9-12 grade span. So as you may remember, our middle school teachers had an effective tide. They got together. They have agreed that they would like to purchase Accelerate Learning. That was the choice of our 6-8 grade span, which means that our K-8 grade span would actually be Accelerate Learning, because if you remember, the elementary folks in K-5 had already chosen Accelerate Learning as the one that they would prefer to have, and then 9-12 was McGraw-Hill. And so the discussion was, would we, assuming the board agreed with those recommendations, then would we look at the 3-year, the 5-year phase-in, or the 5-year full bundle? So because we were able to, the choice of our staff was the Accelerate for K-8, we were actually able to get a better price for the K-8 5-year phased bundle. And if you notice with McGraw-Hill, there was only a 3-year term or a 5-year term, and we had originally talked about getting the 5-year term with the 9-12 science. So if you look at the first sheet that I provided, assuming, again, at the board's pleasure, assuming the board decided to go with the recommendation for the 5-year purchase for each, 5-year for K-8. Now, when I say 5-year, I'm talking about the 5-year phased, 2 years full access on K-8 Accelerate. And with McGraw-Hill, it's only 3 or 5, so there's only one. It's 5-year for McGraw-Hill. So we would, state PRC 031 low wealth, we have approximately $223,173 remaining. If we were to apply that to the 5-year McGraw-Hill, which is a reasonable expense, an allowed expense by DPI, it would cover all but $23,273. So then if we would apply that to our textbook funds, along with the new price for K-8, because our curriculum department was able to negotiate a lower price for the 5-year bundle with the phased in than we were originally if you just took the two numbers of the Accelerate and added them together. So we're able to get a better price of $368,409. That would leave us with $55,367 in our state textbook funds. And then what would that look like moving forward? That would be our balance moving into this summer. Then the allotment that we believe we will receive in July and August will be $196,264. Add those together, that would give us $251,631 as our base rate to begin the social studies adoption.
Okay, I have a problem with McGraw-Hill. Basically, we need to teach children how to think, not what to think. And I've been back and forth with Accelerate. They were very helpful. I didn't see as many problems there. There's, of course, one area that does get into heavy ideology, and that is the whole climate issue. There's a dispute in science, multiple directions, dispute in politics. And in fact, if you go back, the whole theory of global warming or climate change, when it was originally set out by a Swedish physicist in the 1890s, was purely scientific. But it didn't catch on with climate science, and only did in the 1970s because the British government put money into it because it happened to help their fight with the coal miners' unions and the Arab oil sheiks and the desire to go to nuclear. So since then, it's been, politics and science have been so intertwined. It's hard to tell where one stops and the other starts. So, like I say, Accelerate was very helpful, and I'm confident that the Accelerate materials don't cross the line in terms of being political. That's not true of McGraw-Hill. Trying to talk to them, they sent me back a form letter. Obviously a form letter, I've written form letters myself, it's a form letter. And so I tried to answer that form letter and ask some specific questions. They sent me back the identical form letter, word for word. That is not being cooperative. And their program, their curriculum is very tilted toward one ideological position and one of the multiple science positions. And if we're going to present an issue that has a lot of controversy in it, one-sided that way, I don't think we're serving our students properly, and we're certainly not serving our families, because the polling in North Carolina shows that 71% of parents are concerned about ideological indoctrination in the classroom. French polling around the world, 30 countries, we were the only country they polled that was the top issue of parents. So I think we need to get a more cooperative situation with whoever's going to provide our curriculum, that they present all sides, not just one side that's debatable in science, debatable in politics, debatable period. One of the reasons too that we need to be careful on this, there's been quite a bit of talk by quite a few people in the other political party about what they call climate anxiety. Children being taught that all these horrible things are going to happen and scaring them. Greta Thunberg is a good example of what that produces. In fact, there's been some polling that has shown the number of young people that don't want to have a family, don't want to have children. And one of the top reasons for that, climate anxiety. So I don't think we should be promoting that. The problem is, when you look at the number 2 choice, that one was actually worse. In that one, they had one item in there that I was going through it. It said, show your stripes. So I clicked on it, and it had one of these things showing that climate was going crazy. Now, you can use whatever data sets you want and say that either the climate's doing nothing, or it's doing a little bit, or it's doing a lot. That particular data set, as I looked at the footnote, came out of the UK Met Office, or Meteorological Office, which is equivalent to our Weather Bureau. That particular study, British newspapers were all over it when it came out, because there were all sorts of flim-flam in it. They found a bunch of weather stations that had moved, so that it was apples and oranges comparisons, and they found a big list of them that had closed. But here was all this supposed data from weather stations that had closed 30 and 40 years ago. So the British media asked, where did this come from? And was it some alternative, and if so, what? Or was it just made up? And never got an answer. So that was a study that's highly controversial, that's obviously flawed, and was right there in their materials. So there was absolutely nothing coming back from McGraw-Hill that indicated that they cared anything about presenting more than one side of a multi-sided issue.
Can I ask a question from you? Have you shared that information and how long have you had it from these people? Because I just looked at my school board email, I hadn't got one. So have you shared it with us so we could, as you investigated it?
Well, I shared an email earlier about the
Yeah, but
particular
did you
issue.
share I'm asking, did you share the exact stuff that you got back from Accelerated Learning and from McGraw-Hill? Did you share that with the rest of the board, or could you?
Well, I could probably go back and pull the emails with Accelerate
But
Learning.
I'm asking, did you share it with the board so we would, since we're going off of
Yeah,
your
well,
theory and your
okay.
information versus
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
else?
Accelerate satisfied, my concerns. And I believe with the McGraw-Hill thing, they sent a copy to the central office, and I think that was probably shared, that form letter. And that's all I got back, so you should have the form letter.
I just looked at my email. So,
Because that was, in fact, they sent it first to the central office, and then later sent it to me.
Can I ask a question?
okay.
I don't know who put this together, but there's 2 attachments. On the first attachment, which shows the 5-year purchase cost, under McGraw-Hill for, let's see, I think it says, no, Accelerate, K-8. You got whoever's put it, I don't even know who I'm talking to.
I did.
Okay,
Talking
you
to
did.
me.
Okay, the 368,409, is that including, was that when you mentioned earlier about we got some kind of a discount?
Yes, that is the Accelerate,
Okay.
that is the Accelerate K-8 price for
With the
5-year
discount.
phase, 2 years with full access, and 3 years digital only.
Because that doesn't match the other sheets. So
Correct.
that- But I heard you say discount.
yes.
So I'm assuming that's where the discount
is,
was.
yes.
So that was my question.
Yes.
But still, putting the 2 together, the 912 version and the K8 version is $614,000. I'm just going to point out what everybody already knows.
Sure.
$614,855. So taking that from the funds, just as it shows on the sheet, you have the $55,000 carryover. And then working on what we call projections, which is could happen, might not happen, whatever. Still, I just want to see what the board is going to say about this. It still only leaves you $251,000 moving forward with next year's funds downloaded. What are we doing about social studies? Because I don't think you're gonna buy social studies curriculum for $251,000.
We're one adoption at a time.
Well, if we,
I know, I realize
if
that.
we follow
but-
the process based on policy 3100,
Right.
then we should have, it would essentially be next summer before
Right.
we would have another drop of funds, so you would essentially have close to
by adding another year in,
451,000.
by adding another year.
Yeah.
But, and I anticipated that was the answer, so, gonna be the answer. So, moving forward, at one of the last couple of meetings we had, we said we could possibly go ahead and put the team and let them begin and work on social studies. I don't really want that to
Well,
happen.
you also got dual teachers in middle school grades that do science and social studies.
But I don't see the
One-
point in moving forward with a social studies search when I've got to wait 1 to 2 years for the
Oh, yeah.
funds to be
Agreed.
downloaded. That's what
Agreed.
I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Stacy?
We had talked about some grants for the curriculum, and I submitted where I get my grants from. I didn't hear anything else about it, but I did put together a calendar of where we can apply for these grants and what they're for with social studies and science that's available for the state. And we have a lot that's available for CTE, health science,
But not for the whole
robotics.
curriculum.
But
It
it'll
won't pay
help,
for the
it'll help put
curriculum.
that money back in that
This is,
fund.
yeah, it never hurts to apply.
I mean, I have it on a calendar. We're talking 3 or 4 grants we can apply for a month for
That
these
would be great.
curriculums.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those,
I
so we,
don't see where it would hurt.
well, what I would say is this, there are a very large, long list of helpful grants that Ms. Davis did send us. And those are certainly things, but they are, $2,000, $10,000, and any dollar amount helps. But those are the kind of grants that you're gonna have to apply for after the fact, in terms of if we're gonna buy a curriculum, we're either gonna have to pay for it up front and then apply for grants and try to reapply the money later, kind of pay ourselves back, which is certainly doable. But it's not a thing where if we apply for these grants, the smaller, even the largest one is $20,000, $25,000. If you're talking about spending $600,000 on a curriculum, you're not gonna grant your way to $600,000 up front. Now, you might do it again in arrears, and that's certainly something we can look into, but it's not, I mean, if we wait for us to apply for those grants, even if we apply for everyone on
You may be
there.
granting for
Yeah,
24 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying wait.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's something that we keep. That's
Oh, 100%.
sustainable
Yeah, but
and
if you're,
ongoing.
what he's saying is
And
It
by the
takes a
end
lot
of
of
the year-
$20,000 to make up 600,000.
Well, we're sitting here with balances of 23 and 55. So
There are also some free curricula, such as Hillsdale
There
College,
is, yeah.
that we could supplement with things that they don't cover, like North Carolina history. And that would certainly be a better way to go, because we've not had a social
does
studies
Hillsdale do
curriculum in
science?
years. Excuse me?
You're saying Hillsdale free for science?
No, I'm saying for social studies.
We're talking about science curriculum.
We were just talking about social studies as
No,
well.
we were talking about science, funding of science curriculum.
Well, Terry brought
Terry
up
said Terry
social
was
studies.
saying the funding sources for social studies would be next year about this time. When the other 196 drops, we would have 251 plus 196, so that splits 451 for social studies.
But we could move on social studies using a free curriculum long before that, and
So you're going to circumvent policy 3100 for social studies.
we trigger it early. We go ahead and go into it.
So you want to go ahead and do social studies policy 3100 and circumvent the curriculum adoption process to do a free curriculum.
Well, we look
That's
at
what
free.
you're saying.
We look at free curricula because it saves us money.
Yeah,
and
I
it
don't
gets us-
disagree that we
and
look
it-
at free curriculum, but I'm asking you, are you going away from policy 3100 to go to one curriculum that you just stated?
No, I'm saying we look at free curricula such as Hillsdale is just one of them.
But
There are
we're still
others out
talking
there.
about science on this side.
Well, we were also getting into the money available for social studies, which is what I'm addressing there. But getting back to science, we need to have a curriculum that tells students every side of controversial issues. And the whole climate issue is very controversial, scientifically and politically.
So I got a question.
All right, go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, Mr. Rader, just to add to your concerns with McGraw-Hill, so what we have here is 3 different vendors, which are some of the leading vendors that provide this science curriculum. If it's not McGraw-Hill, it's not BioZone, it's not Savas, or, I mean, what do we do? Go back to the drawing board and start all over? I mean, Policy 3100 was written as a system to lay this out, to provide the checks and balances that the board seen fit based on 3100. That process has happened. I think we've been very diligent in making sure that's happened. I've spoken with several educators specifically around science. I think it's obvious this is what they want, and frankly, I've seen this movie before. I don't think it's wise for the board to implement a K-8 science curriculum and abandon a 9-12 science curriculum. It just seems extremely counterproductive. We've gotten this far. I'm not a fan for starting over. I do think I have some concerns around the money piece of it, but it'd be my opinion that we move forward with this. And I'm not discounting your concerns around climate change, but there's a lot more to science than strictly climate change. And if we're going to go down that rabbit hole, I don't know where we ever stop. So
you got one before you. You had a lot of time. Go, Stacy.
I'm a fan of McGraw-Hill. I always have been. I even have some of the textbooks still.
They're one of the leading people. And by the way, just not to cut you off, but the 3 that are on here made all of the rubrics that we had, no CRT, none of that other stuff. And so climate change is just one small part of science.
Well, not only that, but I know you didn't get all of your information in, but what they're prided on is teaching critical thinking for the student. So what you're going to find is that they're teaching the scientific method, and I'm sure some of the principals and the teachers can speak, but what they do is they teach the children to think with fact. And so there's not really any political advocacy that's involved in that, which is something we should really feel lucky that came before us, because it did hit all 3 rubrics. And I hope they do respond back to you. I'm shocked they didn't, because they're usually really good about that. But I'm for it, and I don't see where there's any political advocacy.
Well, with that said, and I've been like Daniel. I've talked to a lot of the principals, a lot of the educators, the science teachers. We have nothing. They're putting stuff together on a daily basis. It's a very big strain on our educators and our principals and it is a tested subject that is needed. With that, and the funding model is in place by Mr. Potts and Mr. Doon, I move that we adopt the recommended curriculums.
Oh, you're looking for a second?
I just made a motion to adopt the recommended.
That's a motion.
No, I made
I was
that.
waiting for him to say something else.
I move that we adopt the recommended
He can make
curriculums.
a
A chairman can make a
Second.
motion.
He can make a motion if he wants to.
Yep.
Stacy seconded it.
All right.
I was going to, but thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to amend that to provide that we develop a supplement to cover all theories of climate, because McGraw-Hill does not. And climate is an issue that, you got a lot of scientists on both sides of the issue, and politically, it's a huge issue. You know, the European farmers call the whole climate alarmism thing climate communism. But the problem is they're scaring kids that all these horrible things are gonna happen, and these people have made hundreds of predictions that have already passed the time they were supposed to happen. Not a one has happened. And yet they're scaring kids that all this horrible stuff is gonna happen if we don't do all these drastic things. And we can, if we're not gonna reject a curriculum that's very one-sided in this issue, the least we can do is supplement it so that they have, not from the political standpoint, but the science standpoint of the other sides of it. If we don't do that, then we are trying to teach kids what to think, period.
I
Second the amended motion.
I don't see
Can we-
anything wrong with that either.
I mean, if we can do that, I don't know. I don't have a
I
problem
gotta
with
handle
it
the
if we can do
amendment
it, but
first.
But he's the one that made the motion, so he's
I
got.
would
I
like-
gotta handle the amendment first.
TW, I would like to say that I would have liked to have had some of this information a little bit earlier instead of
I
the
have.
night that we have to
You did.
Yeah,
vote on this.
that's right.
That would have been very helpful.
If it would have been
Mr.
shared
Rader.
earlier, we would have been all right. So I got to handle the amendment first. All in favor of the amendment for a supplement for teaching all sides of climate change, say aye.
Aye.
Can I
Okay.
ask a question? Who's gonna approve the supplement? Us?
Yeah.
Well,
And who's gonna entertain getting a supplement? Dr. Parker? I'm asking,
Yeah.
I'm not.
No,
And
good
I'm-
question,
I'm
good
curious how it's
question.
not open-ended in the study for what we just
Yeah,
approved.
who's gonna do it? Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna bring it back to us? And do we wait for the science implementation until this is done?
well, we won't have the
No.
curriculum until next year, and.
No, you're gonna have it this year in August, next school year.
Next
Next
school.
school year, exactly.
And that's,
So-
that's gonna come right up on you,
Yeah.
because you're
Eh.
not gonna quickly get a supplement,
Well-
correctly? Correct?
I can provide Dr. Parker with some sources,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can go from there and probably run it through the teachers' committees too.
Yeah, I don't think that would be something that would have to go back through the whole
No,
process.
it don't have to
It
go
wouldn't
through
take that long. If he
All right.
could provide some.
All in favor of that motion of a supplement for climate, all actions of climate change, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, motion carried.
I say that because I think we're opening Pandora's box in doing that. I'm not necessarily anti, but I believe this vote's premature. I think we need to do some homework other than just based on Mr. Rader's comments before we take such a strong stance and burden our educators with yet another responsibility that we're not even sure it even warrants.
Well,
Exactly.
Right.
I agree.
But anyway, you
Wouldn't it
have,
be-
so let's.
Wouldn't it be easier for us to have a McGraw-Hill representative here and ask him the question? Him
Yes,
or
it
her?
would be.
Well, the representative was here, and I asked the question, and they said they'd get back to us. They never did. That's why I sent them an
Okay,
email.
so maybe Dr. Parker?
Well, we got another motion on the floor to
Yes,
handle now.
And you've already
To
approved the
approve
other
it.
one.
So all in favor to approve the science adoption as presented and funding sources, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion carried.
Okay. Move on.
Taylor.
Oh, it's my turn. I move we go into closed session pursuant to General Statutes 143, 318, 11A1, A3, and A6 to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel information under General Statute 115C 319, 115C 321. And to, well, I was asking, does this need attorney privilege
You don't,
in
you
it?
don't need attorney, do you?
It's in the motion, but I don't think, did we
We
need
don't
it?
need the attorney, do we?
No, no.
Okay, so that's my motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay, we'll go
They
call.
done